It is my birthday. That's the vibe. That's the vibe for the weekend. It is my birthday. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast of and for the people, the greatest football podcast on earth, Francamente. My name is Franca. I'm your host, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Are you ready to bias your football content? Let's go. Hello. It is my birthday. Not really, but it's my birthday weekend, I guess. And by the time this drops, my birthday will have happened. My birthday is on February 25th, Sunday. I'm not happy about it, but I'm wearing this party tiara because fake it till you make it, right? Our lovely producer extraordinaire, bestie, designer, life coach, therapist, all of the above, sent me this party crown. And the universe today knew I needed something because I fell today. I fell. It wasn't just any fall. I was in an auditorium that was packed to the brim for an event, including one full class of my own students. And in front of all of them, I fell up the steps. I don't think I will. So I fell, got up, walked out, quit my job, and I'm now in witness protection. So this will be my last podcast as Franca. Literally mortified. Okay. So I'm just like having a bad time this week. That was just the culmination. And the universe put this tiara in my path to remind me that I'm turning another fucking year. This is kind of a big one too. And I'm just like not into it. I'm not about it. But my producer said that if I don't wear this tiara on air, she will no longer work for us. So I'm being held hostage like Pochettino to wear this. If you're not watching on YouTube, please go check it out. And what am I wearing? Speaking of YouTube, so this is the kit that I had planned to wear last time because I had been wearing my Francamente merch exclusively. Then last time we recorded, which by the way, time flies. Let me tell you another thing about our producer. Literally 2 days ago, I was like, there's no way we have to record already again, right? No, there was a way. We absolutely had to record this week. And I was like, there's no way. It's been 2 weeks. I need time to stop. So here we are again. So I was going to wear this kit last time. And then we had a kit emergency and I borrowed one and it worked out because it was gorgeous. And so and I can't believe when I was doing my kit content, like roundup content at the end of my kit, like my kit, like reels and all that stuff at the end of last year. I swore I had worn this because you could not get this kit off of me for months after Argentina won the World Cup. You couldn't get this kit off me, not even after, like during the World Cup too. So this is the special edition Argentina Copa America Champions kit. On the back, it has a gorgeous like outline of South America with all of the players' names in it. It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful kit. I only don't like that the stripes are camo because obviously like we hate the military up in here, but it's gorgeous. Yeah, we just pretend it's not camo. Like it's like a lighter like blue. It's so beautiful. Like you can't get this kit off me. You can't tell me nothing when I wear this sucker. And I swore because of the way last year, like because of the way this podcast started, we were in full World Cup mode. And I was positive I had worn it. And then when I did my roundup, I did not wear it at all last year. I don't know how, like I do not know how this happened. Massive oversight on the kit department of the podcast. Like we're gonna have to have a talk with them. But here we are. Now I get to wear it today. So go check it out on the tubes if you are not currently. And you'll also get to see my party tiara for my day of birth, which is a thing that's happening. So, what all going on? What's all going on? Um, the Premier League is interesting. The Premier League is interesting. So it's, there at this time last year, we all had our hopes up that Arsenal was going to win the league. We know how that ended, right? Um, but this year, I don't know, y'all. I mean, obviously, like Liverpool's still first, unfortunately. Liverpool just played my boyhood club, Luton Town. My boyhood club, by the way, catching on the Discord. If you have not joined the Discord, I still don't know how to tell you to look for it, but I'm sure if you listen to this, you will find a way to contact me to get in that Discord because it is lit. My boyhood club, the expression catching on in the Discord. So join it. My boyhood club, Luton Town, gave me hope for like 1 second when they played Liverpool, and they scored first, but then they lost 4-1. And so I don't know. I mean, Liverpool has to have a slip. It's happened before. And Arsenal's just not, Arsenal's relentless. Now, one might say, yes, they've been playing, like Burnley's and whatever, but I don't know, y'all. I'm not like getting my hopes up. I really don't want Manchester City to win the league. I really don't want Liverpool to win the league. My team has less than zero hope. So I'm Arsenal adjacent and I'm going to keep hope alive. Arsenal, by the way, let's talk a little bit about Champions League though. Okay, the Champions League matches this week Barcelona played at the exact same time as Arsenal, and that was interesting. Neither of them wanted to score. They just did not want to score. Barcelona's in shambles, and yet well, I can't even say in yet because they didn't even play that great in Champions League, but they didn't lose. But Arsenal lost in the last second. What the fuck? What the fuck is going on, y'all? Okay, if our titties is focusing on the Prem and not on Champions League. You know what's interesting about this? Well, let me finish that thought. If our titties is focusing on Prem and not Champions League, that's fine. We have to be realistic. Arsenal's not going to win the Champions League even if they make it out of this, right? Like if they end up like winning a couple games or whatever, they're not going to win the Champions League. They're just not gonna. So it's smart to focus on Prem. However, um I don't know. I don't know if that's a risky move to say, um let's put all our eggs in this one basket. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know like what the future holds for Champions League, but I do want to talk about this for a second. So one of the things that nasty ass fascist Real Madrid fans hang their hat on is how many times they've won Champions League. And it's a lot, and a lot of them are corrupt as fuck. A lot of them, a lot of Real Madrid's championships are questionable at best, right? For obvious reasons. We actually haven't done an episode on the thread, topic, which we should talk about that at some point. Which is the fascism linked to Real Madrid's history. So nasty ass fascist Real Madrid fans hang their hat on the fact that they've won this Champions League so much. Barcelona hasn't won it as much, but they've won it a good amount of times. In Spain, and two Spaniards, and especially obviously Real Madrid fans, but not only, right? The biggest thing you could achieve And the thing that teams really put all their eggs in that basket of is winning the Champions League. I don't that that is that the same is not true in other leagues now. And so like because Premier League teams have historically just not won the Champions League that much, right? And so we might go into like a chicken or the egg situation. Is it because they don't win it that they don't care about it? Or is it because because they're so like England centric that they don't care about it? They care more about their own cups and their and the Premier League. But I also feel like, you know, Serie A and League doesn't even have a real league, and Bundesliga, like they also like don't place as much like value on it. You know, I was having this discussion in my circles because um people are people that are Barcelona fans sometimes get really mad, irrationally mad at Barcelona for like not doing great in Champions League. And I feel I my analysis of it is that it's a little bit of a inferiority complex situation because Real Madrid has won it so much, right? So people get so mad about it. And they're like, "Oh, you know, whatever." And I'm like, "Okay, intrinsically, are we getting too philosophical? I don't know. Intrinsically, what value does the Champions League have? Like we give it the value, right? That as fans, as players, as coaches, right? We give it the value because intrinsically it doesn't have any value attached to it, right? So if I decide that I don't care about Champions League, I just don't care about Champions League. That's it. You like cool. Real Madrid has won it a million times. That's awesome for you. Yay, congrats. Have like that's I don't care that much, right? I'm not saying that's my feeling. I'm saying there's this philosophy among fans who are like, "Oh, if Barcelona doesn't win as many Premier Leagues or as many oh my god, imagine Barcelona winning the Premier League, as many Champions Leagues as Real Madrid, like we're not, you know, whatever to their standard." I knowing the history of how corrupt Real Madrid is, and like we're seeing in 4K the corruption in La Liga, in the way they get handed. I mean, even there's even Real Madrid fans, there's even like rational, you know, people who hate Barcelona, who hate whatever for whatever reason, coming out to be like, this is absurd. The calls that Real Madrid gets, like the corruption, like that is the legacy of Franco and of fascism, right? Like that whole shit that like all the entire system of like VAR and refereeing and everything in La Liga needs to be revisited because it is insane. But all of that aside, my connection to and my and the value that Barcelona has to me goes above and beyond the Champions League, right? Like realistically, and I've been thinking a lot about this as it pertains to Carnival. Hear me out, okay? Follow me on this journey because it's Carnival in Uruguay. Uruguay has the longest Carnival in the world. It's 40 nights, and every single night there's something. And that is the topic of my doctoral dissertation, um, which was 500 pages. And I've been getting reconnected with a passion for Carnival, and I've been asked to write an article and I'm going to do it. And I've been thinking of like doing like little reels to kind of like explain because it really is a treasure, right? Uruguayan Carnival is a treasure. It doesn't exist in the way it exists in Uruguay anywhere else. And so we're not going to go into it now, even though there's lots of football connections. But the point is, part of the of Uruguayan Carnival is a contest, like an official contest with judges and this whole thing, and they have to go and perform at like the official venue, which is the Teatro de Verano, which is amazing. It's a great experience to go there. It's also a great experience to go to the tablados, which are like neighborhood makeshift stages that are set up all over the city. Less and less with, fascists in power who don't care about art, and also, crisis and money issues, but there's still tablados going on, every single night. At the end, there's a winner in every category. Uruguayan Carnival has 5 categories. Every category has a winner. But again, and in my expert opinion, because that's what my dissertation's on, okay? And I always get asked this all the time. Like I was like on TV and stuff in Uruguay, like getting like asked about stuff. Like, they thought it was fascinating. I was writing a dissertation for like Boston University about this. And they would say like, oh, the contest, this is a point of discussion since Carnival exists. Like, is the contest the biggest thing, or is this street piece the biggest thing? And I'm like, I think the contest is great. I also give it zero importance. Like my favorite murga groups, right? Murga is like the one category that is like musical theater, like street theater. It does not give or take anything away if they win or lose or make it into the top 10. There's a whole playoff thing. I mean, it's real intense. But like to me, if I'm going to Carnival for 40 nights and I'm following my favorite murga, right? Or I'm following my favorite whatever candombe group, right? And I'm seeing them every night and I'm memorizing their songs and I'm crying because it's so emotional, because it's so good and beautiful and moving, and the content is amazing, and social justice and all this stuff, right? Progressive values, everything. Does that get taken away because officially some judges thought that their costumes were not as good as this other costume and now they don't win? What the fuck do I care? I like it doesn't bring, like, my experience was in watching this beautiful performance every single night. The experience that I had for 40 nights doesn't get erased because of some bullshit, right? It's not quite comparable, but I have been thinking about this as it pertains to this obsession that I see people who I'm very close to be like, they can't enjoy anything with Barcelona. They can't enjoy anything because they're always thinking about, oh, if Real Madrid, and like, what are they, okay, they'll win a game but they won't do anything in Champions League. Like, what do you watch for? What do you watch for? Because that's a miserable existence. Like, and obviously I get pissed off and I hate Real Madrid more than anything. But for me, that hatred is pretty much like pretending they died. I don't care. Like, I do not care. Like, I wanted to see like Girona win the league, or like I would love to see Atleti, or like obviously Barcelona. Like, I don't want to see, Real Madrid win the league. I don't want to see them win Champions League. But there's a boundary that we have to be able to put up for ourselves just to stay sane, because otherwise we're obsessing over this. We can't even enjoy. When this is because in my circles, we're all Uruguayan, and Uruguayans are pessimistic. Okay, I have said this before. Uruguayans are, if they're one thing, it's pessimistic. So it's like you can't enjoy the moment of like having Barcelona win or score a good goal or whatever, because you're always thinking like, well, they're just gonna blow it later anyway. And like, I've been analyzing this a lot because I'm like, is that? Oh, Luna thinks it is not. No. Is that sane? Is that healthy for us? Luna says no, it is not. It's not. It's like what a sad existence to always be obsessing, right? Over like what gets taken away from your experience, right? Because of what the other team's doing. Like, I don't, I can't wrap my brain around that unhealthy obsession, and it happens a lot. And so I think that's why I have been subconsciously more drawn to Premier League in recent years, because I have trauma being a Barcelona fan from losing Messi, from all this stuff, but also from like being around people that like are always, you can't enjoy anything because there's always this like overlying obsession. I'm not sure what brought this thought on. Oh, I was talking about the results of Champions League this week. And so I'm like, I'm thinking about that intrinsic value, right? What is the intrinsic value that we place? Because obviously, like Libertadores, right? Let's look at Libertadores. It's the comparable cup, right, in South America. I obviously watch it. I'm obsessed with it. I like love when Boca wins, like, Peñarol has won it. For me, has always been, just in all my circles, like a parallel thing to the league, right? If Peñarol wins the league, that's amazing. And it doesn't take away from Peñarol winning the league if they do bad in Libertadores. And same thing with Boca, right? Boca Juniors. And so why is La Liga? And so I think it's two things. I think it's fans being pessimistic and all that stuff. And I also think there is something in Spain specifically that gives that value to Champions League above all else. Coaches have said, like, La Liga coaches have been like, the most important thing, I don't care about winning the league, right? I don't care about winning the league. It's Champions League. And Pep has been on record with Manchester City saying that he cares more about winning Prem than Champions League. Now that could have been said because he knows he didn't have a chance. I mean, Prem just has never, English teams have not done great, right, in Champions League. So it's kind of like a chicken or the egg situation, but these are the types of things that keep me up at night. These types of, like, philosophical, like, dilemmas with all of our relationships to these teams, to these cups. Like, ultimately, there was a tweet that was hilarious, right? It was like a reel or something, and it was this, like, really angry dude, like, just like rage crying, right, was the video part. And it said, and the text was, me, oh, I love football so much. It brings me so much joy. Also me. And then, like, this, like, just rage, like, and he was like cursing, like, whatever. And it's like, wow, we really are like our own worst enemies, right? As football fans. It can really make or break us. And I have had moments too where I like want to smash things, like, but when we get to this rational point of, like, analysis, it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't know. It's just thoughts. It's just thoughts, man. Um, let's take a break and we will be right back.
Hey, make sure to follow and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. And help us out by leaving a rating and review, and remember to share it with a friend. Don't forget to follow Franca on Twitter and Instagram at Francamente for the latest news. And lastly, please visit realfrancamente.com for bonus content, including articles, photos, and for more information about the podcast.
We're back. We're back. There's one more thing I want to talk about with Champions League, because I am obsessed with the team at CBS. Like, Micah and Kate Abdo are absolutely doing it. They are. You can, like, the chemistry, the dynamic, it's beautiful. Big Meeks, and Kate. I'm sorry. Like, I I know, like I can just tell. I can just tell, and I'm here for it. And I love it so much. And like Thierry Henry, who's fucking hilarious and sometimes even unwillingly hilarious. Like sometimes his faces are just ridiculous. Like sometimes he means to be funny and sometimes he doesn't, and he's even more hilarious. Jamie Carragher, I could take or leave him. He kind of sucks sometimes, and I don't care. But with that team, he's great. They're hilarious. Like they have this whole vibe, right? I almost love watching them interact more than the game sometimes. So they always do the most silly shit. They were also at the Super Bowl, and there was the whole like crossover, like football thing. That was kind of cool. By the way, football is colonizing hand egg. There were two commercials during the Super Bowl. One was Messi's, um, and the other one was something like for a Champions League or something like that, I think. Anyway, neither here nor there because we don't care about hand egg. But the CBS team, shouts to them. So this week they did a bit where they were reminiscing about where everyone was in 2007. So like I guess Jamie Carragher had won like best Liverpool player for like the fifth time or something like that. Some like amount of times. And Henri was like in his prime and he was, whatever, scoring goals with Arsenal. And Micah had been like nominated for a young player of the year or something like that. And then they showed Kate Abdo 2007, and she was just this sweet little like little reporter. She wasn't doing so like solely football stuff, although they showed a clip where she was speaking perfect Spanish, like for football. Like I forget, she speaks like 17 languages. Back in the day, they were trying to make her look more white. They were trying to make her look more white because when the first clip came on, we were all like, "Oh my gosh!" But please look this up if you haven't seen it because the way Henri reacted to seeing Kate Abdo pop up on the screen. So Kate didn't know that the men were cooking this up, right? She thought it was just a segment of reminiscing about these players. And then at one point, I think it's Micah that goes, "Wait a second. What was Kate doing in 2007?" She was like, "Oh no." She like immediately panicked. And they brought out these clips and they were so cute and adorable. And literally Henri's face the entire time is a meme for the rest of our lives. Like he literally he freaked out. He was like, "Oh, he's just like looking around, like open mouth." Look it up if you haven't. It's I've watched it 75 times. And then they're like, "Can you play that clip again?" Like they were in disbelief. And I think that's so fun and like fresh. I love that. Let me see. None of them are United Station. I love that so much because I'm like, because the Premier League team is awesome. It has not been the same since my close personal friend Kyle Martino left. It hasn't been the same in my opinion. He like won acceptable United Station. Then they replaced him with that fucking idiot. What's his name? Tim Howard, whom I can't stand. So like the Premier League team is fine, but they always have to include a United Station, right? Not the CVS team. Well, not that core team of Champions League. Now they have started to like add some United Stations, but in other shows I don't care about. So it's hilarious. It's so good and like refreshing, like to watch them interact and just like be fucking silly. It's so good. It's so good. And speaking of silliness, let's talk about Miami FC for a second. First of all, let's talk about Luis Suarez getting his 14th win. I was gonna say second. He's like 50 years old. No, he's probably younger than me, but he's so old. And he like got his second win playing with his besties. There's an interview of him speaking English, which people are like, because Messi, if you watch the Super Bowl commercial, even for 1 second, he refuses to speak a word of English. That man is based. Okay. He's like, fuck your language. Even on the Super Bowl commercial for like the biggest, sporting event or whatever in this disgusting country, he refused to say one word. Even the name of the beer or whatever it is, he says in Spanish. Like, Oh, good. I love that so much about Messi. Now, Luis Suarez played in Liverpool for a while, right? So he started to learn English there, but his English there was awful. There's so many videos and interviews of like people like he's like incomprehensible. And then now though, he got like a little question after the Miami game, and he was like, the Inter Miami game, and he was like, he was speaking English. People were like, oh, okay. But with that, we have to talk about the way that Messi just straight up dribbled over a dead man. Like, just humiliated a dead man on the field, right? Luna's very angry about it too. No, ma'am. Um, so there was a dead man on the field, like legit was like holding his hand that's like broken. Look this up if you haven't too. And Messi just full on like just like dribbles right over it. Like every single it became an instant meme. Every single person that was commentating was like, "Oh my God, what?" Like no one's mad about it because it's like it's Messi. He was gonna score. Like that's the shit that shows you he does not give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck about anything. I've always said he's never had a scandal. He doesn't give a fuck about any of like that stuff. But like even on the field, he's a one track mind, and it's football. It's getting the ball in the goal, and that's it. Like that's it. You're never gonna get like see him like stop for a second. I think that's beautiful. I think that's so beautiful. I love that man so much. It's crazy. I have never loved a person that I didn't know as much as I love that man. I just every single thing is better than the last. And the haters stay crying. The haters stay crying. I love it so much that Messi has broken the brains of all United Station stands who are so fucking delusional. Because let's talk about it a little bit. There was this whole drama with the Open Cup, okay? And I saw one of the most disgusting images I've ever seen in my life. And it was unironic. It was unironic. Someone made like a little someone made like a little like meme, and let me try to find it. It wasn't a meme, it was like a serious image that they showed unironically, and it was like crying about I guess the Open Cup now, like MLS like doesn't want to be in it and people are like blaming Messi. Like let me tell you something, United Station stands. No one gives a fuck about your little Open Cup. No, it's irrelevant. No one gives a fuck. Y'all crying over it like little bitch asses. Okay. Because now people like, there's like supporters clubs like releasing statements like, oh, I stand by this and, and MLS and whatever. I literally throw up every time I log in to see some of that bullshit. Let me see. Hold on. Here it is. It's like this fucking disgusting image that's like in black and white, and it has the trophy or whatever for the US Open Cup. And then it's like before Messi, before Beckham, before jerseys were adorned with endless logos, and it goes on and on. And then it's like before there was a World Cup, there was this cup. Someone posted that shit unironically as if anyone gave a fuck about your little bullshit fucking nasty ass cup that no one in the world cares about. And then people were comparing it to we're blaming like Messi money for MLS pulling out of Open Cup or whatever the fuck happened, because I don't even know what actually happened. And people are tweeting for real in real time how like since Messi arrived, it's gotten worse. MLS has gotten worse, and being a soccer fan has gotten worse. Bitch, you do not know a thing about this sport, and get my sports name out of your dirty ass mouth with that bullshit. Okay? Because how dare you? How dare you? Like literally, not even from a perspective of like, I'm the queen, everyone bow down, which like do. Right? Like, yes. But no, but like not even from that perspective, just from a very basic like football knowledge, like understanding, like just basic respect, right? How dare you complain that your league has the greatest player in the world in it. How dare you make that a bad thing because your little fucking open cup that no one gives a fuck about and never will. I just I love to see them crying. I love to see them crying. This might be the thing that that makes me go back to Red Bull Arena, because we have fish hooked. Okay, we have fish hooked from having to hate MLS. You know the fish hook here theory, right? From having to hate MLS for imperialist reasons, which we still should. But now, because the US stands think they're so like hipsters and we were here first or whatever, and they hate Messi, now the anti-imperialist position is to actually like MLS now more since Messi came. Do you see how fucked up that is? Like, I'm considering going back to Red Bull Arena. That's what you motherfuckers did. Okay? Like, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up for 1 second. I can't with y'all. I can't with y'all. You are making my blood pressure rise. All of you fucking US stands. I love us. I love us on the good side. So I want to end, though, on a funny note. This was a whole funny episode, I feel like. It's my birthday. So there's a theory that someone said they heard somewhere, and I'm obsessed with it, and I want to run with it. I tweeted it. I'm just going to read my tweet first, okay? So my tweet says, just heard a theory that only one ginormous, ugly-ass, robot-looking, blonde Nordic dude playing in Manchester can be good at a time. And that's why Haaland, how do you even pronounce that? Okay, that fucking weirdo that plays for my team. That's why Haaland can't stop scoring and Haaland can't score. I can't believe I didn't think of this. And their names are basically the same. What the fuck is up with Nordic dudes, yo? First of all, those two men are ugly ass robots. Let's be honest. They are robotic. They're like ugly. They are massive, blonde. Like, they look alike. Their names are the exact same. And like the Matrix has aligned so that only one of them can be good at a time. And it's our turn. It's our turn, which is good for top of the league reasons. So I love shit like that. Like, that's the shit that I just like love. I live for it. We're all just talking shit sometimes. I think sometimes we're all just talking shit. So, yeah, that's my birthday episode. Vibes and tiaras. Maybe that's the name of the episode. Tiaras and vibes. I love y'all so much. I will catch you on the next one. And that was another episode of Real Francamente. Thank you so much for listening. I am obsessed with y'all. Please share with your like-minded friends. Follow us on socials at Real Francamente. Leave likes, comments. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Leave comments there. Leave ratings. Leave reviews, but only if you love us. Follow us or find us on Discord. Join the Discord chat. It's lit. Check out our website for more content, www.realfrancamente.com. We'll catch you on the next one. And as always, buy us your football content.